What's going on, y'all? It's JJ again. Sitting here waiting to get loaded in La Platte, Nebraska. Getting an oversized load for the railroad. Doesn't look like I'm gonna be loaded anytime soon, so figured we'd do a little talking. Sleep and safety. It's a big thing out here in this industry. You can't drive while you're tired. If you even think like you might be starting to get where you're not gonna have your normal response times because you're tired, pull over and go to sleep. These roads you're traveling out here, I have family on these roads. You have family on these roads. I don't wanna see on the news about family got killed because somebody fell asleep at the wheel, or somebody was driving when they're not supposed to. I mean, I understand if you're running a paper law, which I do, you gotta push the limits every once in a while to get that load to get there. They call it outlaw trucking. But don't push the limits if you can't. I mean, it's not that hard. I've never been somewhere where within 5 miles I couldn't pull over and get an hour or two of sleep if I needed it. And there's sometimes I pull over during the middle of the day just because, hey, I need to get some sleep. I mean, rest is a big, big thing. There's a video floating around YouTube. Some cat, it was a big video. It made the one of the news networks guy ended up, I think, on ABC's 2020. I gotta say, that man did the right thing. He was on a tight-fitting load. His company put him in a bad scenario, but he thought he could do it. And many people refer to that as a rookie mistake, which, yeah, most rookies make it at least once or twice. They do that. But even veterans drivers, that's gonna happen every once in a while. I mean, may happen once every 2-3 years, but a scenario like that's gonna happen. I applaud the man. The man called in and he told him he was getting sleep. However, he was a lot nicer about it than I would have been. I'm just saying. If I don't feel safe and I need to pull over and get some sleep and you're going to tell me to keep driving, phew, yeah, buddy. See how well that works out from behind your desk. I'm going to hang the phone up. I'm going to turn the phone off. I'm going to turn my CB off. I'm going to lock my truck doors. And I'm going to go to sleep. In the end of the video, they ended up calling the cops to wake him up. I don't see why he kept working for them after that. I'm sorry, you don't bully anybody. That's strictly what that was. That was bullying him. There's only one person in charge of the safety of that rig you're driving, and that's you. It's only going to be as safe as you allow yourself to be. So be safe. Now, with response to that particular feller, I'm sure a lot of you have seen this video. I wouldn't say his actions following that they weren't very well thought out. Number one, he blasted his company all over the internet. And because of the way he did the video, his company got blasted all over ABC's 2020. Now let's think a minute about that particular decision to blast that company out there like that. The man's looking for a job. He ended up leaving that company and couldn't find a job in the trucking industry for a little while. With the internet and everything out there, if you submit an application to somebody, all they have, and you signed a release for a background check, and if you read the fine print, they can check all sorts of stuff, and it ain't hard. I can go to Google, enter in your name, just a little bit extra information, and guess what? I'm gonna find out where you lived. I'm gonna find out parts of your criminal history. I'm gonna find out parts of your financial history. And I'm gonna find some other stupid stuff that you've done and posted all over the internet. I'd be willing to say that had something to do with him having an issue with that finding a job. I could be wrong, but after that, yeah, another smart decision he made. When he left that company that he blasted all over the place, the man abandoned his truck. Alright, let's do a little figuring here. You're working for a company that carries some newer, nicer equipment, and it is issued to you. You need to bring it back. I'm not sure 100% how it happened after he abandoned the truck, but you have a vehicle that is, I don't know, if it's a few years old, probably newer, it's at least $60,000. Then you have a good trailer. The trailer's a year or two old. There's another $30,000 to $50,000. Okay, so we'll go on the low end of it. Truck and trailer worth $90,000. Cool. Let's just park it and leave it and let the company figure it out. Well, part of your work agreement involves that being issued to you. Alright, need to tell your company, time to get me home as fast as possible. I do not approve going anywhere else. I approve driving this truck back to the terminal. It's a way to do it. Now, if you abandon the vehicle, it doesn't matter whether or not you notified the company, you abandoned it. So you leave it at a truck stop, you leave it on the side of the road, you leave it wherever. There's a possibility of damages. There's a possibility of it being towed. There's a possibility of vandalism. There's a bunch of stuff that could happen to that truck if you just abandon it. And it's not good. Because if the company so wants to, they can take you to court for any and all charges incurred. Now, it's a large company with plenty of drivers. Gonna abandon it anyway. This industry is stretched kind of short on employees as it is, so it might be 3-4 days where that company gets another driver there to hop in that truck and take it back to the terminal. Not good. Not good at all. You've ruined your work history. You've ruined your work history. You've jeopardized a piece of equipment that, hey, I might be in next week. Who knows the way this job field goes? You've just done bad all the way around. So, well, that was a little sidetracked. Let's sleep. Get your sleep. That's the best thing out there. If you have trouble sleeping, notify your company. If you're needing rest, notify your company. And the best means of notifying your company, electronic, not a phone. Phone calls cannot be recorded. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. Phone calls can be recorded, but do you think that they are going to record it for their purposes? No, it's not in their best interest. Their best interest is to keep you running. So, electronically, you send an email, you send a message over your Qualcomm. If you work for a company with a Qualcomm, that is, a lot of people say that's your worst enemy. At the same time, that is your best friend. All you have to do on that Qualcomm is say, look, I'm tired, I need some sleep, I'm going to pull over, get me some sleep, and be safe. The minute you use the word sleep and safe in the same sentence, nobody's going to argue with you. If they try to call you, you do not answer. You send another message on that Qualcomm, and you state Qualcomm communication is perfectly acceptable, no phone required. Now, that makes you look like an asshole to your dispatch, but it got the scenario across. It made sense. Now, if they could hurry up and get me loaded, this would be awesome. Yeah, I got like 400 miles to take this load. It's a little short run. It ain't bad, but it's oversized. Comes with oversized headaches. Running a triaxle step deck. I'm going to be 10 foot wide. Going from Nebraska to Oklahoma. Woohoo! Well, if y'all have any questions, just feel free to comment below. Sleep is the #1 safety thing as far as you as an operator. You have to be well rested. Like I said earlier, there's on the safety of this truck. It doesn't boil down to the company. It doesn't boil down to DOT officer. When that truck is out there driving and operating, the only one the only person in charge of safety of that truck is you. You've done your pre-trips, you know your truck, you are well rested, more than enough to drive. Get your sleep. We will talk to you later.